Hey, what's going on, Eric? So, finally, a voiceover for my update videos. I imagine it's pretty rough watching this without any words and just training footage. I've been kind of being, I want to be a little bit more proactive with these videos and get a voiceover in them, because I know they probably be a lot smoother and make a lot more sense, and just get some better feedback from me. But getting into the voiceover, these squats felt pretty good. Going into it, I didn't know if I was going to train because unfortunately I have to take a physical conditioning class, and we run a lot. And on this day, we ran for 30 minutes straight. It was low intensity, but it's still, I didn't have enough time to, hydrate properly after. I train on Mondays and Wednesdays in between a 4-hour gap that I have in between two classes. So that's the only time I can really fit in my training. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to train this day after having to run. But after warming up and getting it in, I felt pretty good. So I decided to go into it. Here with these squats, I'm super happy, especially high bar. I've never touched 365 even for just one rep. So to be able to do it for 8 reps and for sets was pretty big for me, and a big confidence boost, and it felt really good. But definitely kind of putting it into mind, like you were saying during my last update video, regarding the stiff leg deadlifts, and not really going crazy with them, and using them almost as a something to progress in. Like you were saying, it's more of getting the work in and working on my positioning and my technique with those. So definitely, I think I kind of got carried away a little bit on these too. And instead of kind of using them to better my form, better my posture, my technique, and get my legs a little bit stronger, I may have gotten a little bit greedy with these 365 high bar squats. So, kind of thinking back on it, maybe these could have also not helped me as much with my my squats later in the week. But just at the time, it just felt so good, and in my head was really a good number to hit that, I just went for it and did it. And I think that the videos were actually flipped. The second video was my first set, and the first video that it would show was my third set. And then going into my second day, the 2 count pause, here definitely I got greedy. I went for 275. The pauses were pretty quick. Really weren't really a 2 count pause. But I did hit it, but it wasn't what we really wanted. And I got it for my second set again. I didn't get to record the rest, but on my third set, I had a different spotter, and they took the weight from me after my third rep, and I should have told them that I was going to do 4, but I didn't. So they took the bar from me after my third rep and took me out of my positioning. So I tried to tell them no, that I had one more, and they let go of it late. And when I tried to do it again, I just was out of position and wasn't ready for it, so I didn't get the 4th rep. And then on my 4th one, fatigue finally kicked in, and I missed after my 3rd. This time it wasn't a malfunction with the spotter or anything like that. It was just that I didn't get the rep. But then those 2 last reps that I was missing, I hit. I dropped the weight down to 265 or 264, whatever it is, and got those last 2 reps, because I know that would have been bothering me if I wouldn't have hit those 2 reps. So I just dropped the weight to ensure that I got those 2 reps and that I did it right. The pause was a little quick on all of them, but definitely kind of in my mind it was a confidence boost, but it definitely wasn't a full 2 count pause. My second set was a lot better than my first set. Definitely, I took a little bit longer rest, and it felt a lot better. But here on my third day, comp bench felt pretty good, felt solid. I was a little bit sore, beat up in my shoulder a little bit, but all in all, I moved pretty well. But going back to my second bench day, definitely, got greedy on that. But later in the week, I made sure to not get greedy with my top set and just, stick to the RPE and not overshoot it too much. I know the previous week I had hit 286, and I was hoping to go somewhere in the 290s, but I just stuck to it and didn't get greedy, like you said, and, got a comfortable number to finish out. And then to the famous squat day and deadlift day. Not too happy. Definitely not happy with how I acted during this day. There you can see on the second rep was pretty much a grinder, and I knew that third rep was going to be a grind and it wasn't going to match the RPE. I just decided to not finish it, and definitely not happy with how I chose to act and what I did. I could have easily dropped it down to maybe 385 or back to 405, and like I did, I think 2 weeks ago, and just finish that work, get the work in at least. Maybe not the progression that I was hoping for, but still could have gotten the work in. So pretty disappointed on my part for acting that way. And then these deadlifts, they felt horrible too. But still here, kind of just going off of that anger from the squats, and then going into this, I just mentally wasn't there either with the lack of sleep. But I feel like these honestly moved a lot better than 405 the previous week. And after that third one, I just called it because I felt like that third rep was horrible, so I just called it at that. But definitely not happy with that, how I acted, but definitely going to be working in these next couple weeks to not get greedy and just get that working, even if I'm not feeling the greatest. And there, my top set of 2, just stuck to 275. I knew I could get 4 reps easily because of earlier in the week, so I just stuck to 275, and plus I just didn't feel the greatest on this day. I didn't feel like it was appropriate to go any higher. I felt like 275 hit the RPE perfectly, and for the day it matched how I was feeling. So, but still, all in all, very happy with how I moved.
So I don't know where the
pretty solid. So
off,
happy about
every
that.
time I do a voiceover for some reason,
but yeah,
it'll continue the voiceover, but the video will pause and it won't continue to record me. But I think I was talking about my top set on bench. All in all, even though I wasn't feeling the greatest, probably due to doing that 275 for 2 sets of 4 early in the week, I just stuck to 275 for the top set of 2 at 8. I'm definitely happy with how I carried myself on that day. Didn't get greedy, didn't push it to the 290 that I was hoping for, but I kept it at that because I knew that earlier in the week I had gotten greedy on that 2 count pause day. So I knew that I was probably going to feel pretty beat up, even though I had rested well. But just because of that earlier session in the week, going for 275 for sets of 4, that was going to affect me later down the road. But definitely, all in all, happy with how the session went. The back down work felt pretty easy, so happy about that. But all in all, wasn't the greatest week, but definitely was a good learning experience, a good week to kind of reflect back on it and see where I made some mistakes, where I got greedy early on, and that kind of affected me later in the week. So definitely took home some good points. It was a good learning experience, even though it was a pretty shitty week, but definitely excited to continue about 8 weeks out. Excited to get on with my second meet, so excited for this week, and other than that, pretty good. Also, I just had a question. Should I be worrying about my weight? I've been fluctuating between as low as 210 to as high as 215. I didn't know if you wanted me to kind of manipulate my macros yet, or if you don't want me to touch it at all and not worry about it. Just because I'm not sure how that works yet. If you want me to start kind of cutting a little bit or just leave it alone, because we'll do something like a water cup protocol or something like that down the road. But yeah, that was the only thing I had a question on. But other than that, thank you for everything, and talk to you soon.